Meanwhile, at the bar in Palmia, we're looking for a woman named Liana. Do you know of her? And what business do you have with her? We've been told she'll fulfill any request, so long as the price is right. While I don't feel as if we need one, we were instructed to seek out Liana by the king so that we may hire a guard. Your request for a price, is it? Well, I certainly know someone who is skilled enough to help you, regardless of what danger it is you find yourself in. But for that man, it comes down to whether he feels like it or not. Not a price. Yes, I am Liana. Both of you, come with me. Bethel, I've finally got some work for you. You barely eat, and yet here you are inhaling crimberry smoke. My precious Bethel, come now, stand up. You need to greet the clients. Oh, wonderful. The swordmaster we're supposed to rely on for protection is a drug-addled mess. Larnneire, this is pointless. Regardless of what skill this man may have had, we don't have time for him to sober up. Now, there's no need to be in such a rush. Don't mind them, Bethel. These people don't know the terrible things you've been through. When I first saw your haunted eyes, I knew. This man has known unimaginable suffering. He's a pitiful man that can't let go of his past. But as long as he sticks with me, I'm sure I'll be able to help him overcome that. But you know, Bethel, if you don't work, you can't eat. Starving to death with you wouldn't be a bad way to go. Oh, Bethel, you flatterer. Liana, I don't plan on taking you with me to the next world. Now, the request. Elish? Elish? No, never mind. Tell me about your request. There'll be no need for that. Let us just consider the order to hold a drug-addled bodyguard a poor Palmian joke. I don't recall there being anyone out to get us anyway. The drugs may have dulled my senses, but I'm still easily capable of guarding you, and given the number of presences I can sense surrounding the place, I think you'll need someone of my caliber. This place is surrounded? Are they aiming for us? We don't have time to stop and ask questions. Don't lose sight of me. We're going to leave the city through the alleyways. Meanwhile, at the palace in Durfee, you're King Xabi's young female guest? Yes, my name is Larnneire. The cold-hearted shadow of Durfee, Duke Severlis. I recall the king once mentioning to rely on you in case of an emergency, and so we've come. Someone is after us, though we're unaware of their identity. Could you find them using your connections in the underworld? I see. You did well to rely on me. The ones pursuing you are from Zanan. Seymour, to be precise. There's no need to have anyone investigate that. Let's see, so we have both the girl and the White Hawk here. You've changed quite a bit since I last saw you, Bethel Rumford. Why is it you yet live with such regret? Wasn't aware one needed a reason to continue living. And forgive me for my rudeness, Duke Severlis, but I don't recall us having met before. Not surprised. You'd be unlikely to remember me with this face. We've both changed. Now, regarding your group's fate. Lord Severlis, Barrius urges you to hurry. Barrius? My apologies. Have you no doubt surmised, I was visited by another guest before your arrival. Well, I'm sure you were tired from your long trip from Palmia, Larnneire. I'll have to ask that you accompany him. Though it's not really a choice. The palace is already surrounded. So you'll hand me over to Zanan? Would you betray the trust of King Xabi so easily? Relax. Seymour will neither harm you or your companions. You're regret this, Duke Severus. I will remember your betrayal, and I am a vindictive man. This is enough, isn't it? Yes, I appreciate your cooperation. Your methods are as dirty as ever, Barrius. Do you ever intend to keep your promise? Don't worry, your subordinates have been treated courteously. I'll have them delivered at dawn. Oh, yes, and I won't mention to Seymour that you're still alive. It'd be quite the inconvenience if he were to find out, wouldn't it? Do as you like. Meanwhile, at the camp of the Prince of Xanan. No need to be so tense, Celia. I have no intention of harming you. I simply wish for a conversational partner. Someone to talk to about myself. Someone to talk to? Don't expect for us to reach some sort of understanding. You're slyly manipulating the public opinion in order to call for the destruction of the Vindale Forest. Until you can provide some evidence that the issue of the forest and the ether winds are the cause of the calamity of which you speak, the Elia will never believe you. There's no need for you to believe me. In fact, my story is a lie. Rather than being the cause of the calamity, the Vindale Forest is an antidote of sorts. It senses the revival of the Mashera, and is releasing an antibody which we know as ether. What are you saying? Got your attention now, do I? But I'm afraid you'll have to listen to my tale before I inform you of the truth of the forest. The story is from long ago. There were once two princes in Xanan. One was a frail and ugly albino, while the other was his handsome and vigorous brother Klein. The name of the first, I think, not need to be mentioned. The two princes were as different as light and shadow. The warlike Klein was naturally successful, while his brother, who lived in his shadow, was a failure. Unlike his brother, the younger boy despised conflict, instead preferring song and poem. He was a pacifist and did much to help the disadvantaged and those who were orphaned by the war. Among these, he took a particular interest in heretical Elia and their forest. While Klein amused himself with hunting and socializing, the younger boy devoted himself to studying the forest. Hope, after all, is something born of ignorance. Perhaps it was that he saw something of himself in the heretical forest. By eliminating the prejudice and suspicion regarding the forest, and by exploring a path of coexistence with the Elia, he believed the world might change. And yet years passed while his research made little progress. The boy simply could not come to terms with the life of an adult. He couldn't accept the world was at its core an unkind and unfair place where the strong rule over the weak. He began to begrudge his brother, who continuously rose in power, all while cursing himself for being born an albino and hating the world that refused to change its ways. And then he met an angel. She was an alien girl, roughly his own age. From the moment that he saw her, he was fascinated with her. Her chestnut eyes were strong, gentle, and overflowing with compassion. As he watched her live a strong life in Xanan, which is notoriously cruel to her kind, he once again saw a part of himself in the Elia. For the boy, she was... No, I think that's a story for another time. Suffice it to say that her passing left nothing but a gaping wound upon the boy's heart. Even now I am pained by the memories of that time. Let's continue this later. There is more than enough time to discuss everything. Meanwhile, in the bar in Durfee... Oh, so you came without your subordinates. Don't expect me to forget that you're our lifeline with Xanan, though. Xanan itself has nothing to do with all of this. The girl's confinement is a direct order from Simon. From what I understand, though, he's ready to release her at any time. And what does Simon want in return? Very soon, the leaders from various countries will be gathering in Palmyra for discussion. His request is that she attend as a representative of the Elia. That's it? That kind of opportunity is something we've been desperately hoping for. What would he stand to gain from this? If his intent was simply to arrest you all, there were innumerable methods he could have chosen. I'm sure Simon has some twisted event planned. Something he'll find humorous.